Welcome to A Poor Millionaire with your host, Curtis. Today we're going to talk about why $1 million does not make you rich. Welcome to A Poor Millionaire. We're talking about today why $1 million does not make you rich. Now, I know a lot of people out there thinking, hey, if I just had $1 million, I could retire, all my problems are solved, everything is done, I'll be rich, I'll be driving Lambos, I'll be flying on private planes, have a yacht in the Caribbean, I will be set. The European vacations will never stop, right? That is actually incorrect. If you have $1 million, if you take $1 million and you do what most people would do with $1 million, which would be have that invested in, let's say, stocks, you get a 4% rate of return on stocks, on dividends. Let's say you're on dividends. What is that 4% going to get you? 4% of $1 million is only $40,000 a year. Are you going to be living the lifestyles of the rich and famous off of $40,000 a year? Answer is no. $40,000 is not going to cover a lot. Now, obviously, if you already owned your house, you already owned your car, and you had $40,000 a year, you could live comfortably. But you're going to have a car that's going to progressively get older, and your house is still going to have taxes, insurance, fixes, and all that other good stuff. So you're going to have to buy a reasonably priced house, because some places taxes for a house are, how much are they? They could be gobbling up. They could be a couple grand. It could eat your entire $40,000 a year, a couple grand a month. So you got to buy a reasonably priced house, get those taxes down to, let's say, $500, and then you're still gobbling up your money. And then you have your car, own it outright. You can live comfortably, but you're not going to be driving a Lambo. You're not going to be doing lots of European vacations. You're not going to be doing anything crazy. So, and people are going to look at you and go, "Wow, that guy's poor," or "That girl is poor." You're going to be sitting here saying, and you're like, "I'm a millionaire." You don't even know it. I'm a poor millionaire, and you don't even know it, right? And there's lots of people out there have done this. They've saved up religiously. They've gotten their $1 million. They've gotten their 4% rate of return, and suddenly they're independently wealthy. They are independently wealthy. They can retire. They don't have to work anymore. Living off of $40,000 and not having to work for the rest of your life again is actually being rich. So if that's your goal, just not having to work, then that's actually not a bad goal. That's basically just working till retirement. So you need $1 million to retire, yes. I would say you need more than $1 million, because remember, you're going to have to own your house outright and then just pay taxes on it, because you start taking out house payments out of a $40,000 a year, you're just not going to be doing very well. That's $3,333 a month. $3,333 a month is not a lot of money. When you start adding in anything for fun, buying food, buying clothes, if you have family members you have to pay for, or anything of that nature. Obviously, if you're single, $3,000 a month in your pocket is a lot of money. But once you start minusing off car payment, that's the reason why I said you need to own your car outright. You minus off a house payment, a decent house, $1,500 to $2,000. It's going to knock that money down really quick. Pretty soon, you're living like a poor person. So that's the reason why you have to own your house outright, which means that you're going to need 1.2, 1.3, 1.5 million in order to own your house outright, own your car outright. Your net worth is actually going to be closer to 1.5 and not actually $1 million. This is why retiring on $1 million is just a lot harder. And that's the other issue you run into. When you decide today, hey, I want $1 million because I'm going to retire 10 years from now. Is $1 million going to be worth the same amount of money 10 years from now? No, it's not. Inflation's going to eat away at that. So if you decided 10 years from today, you're going to be a millionaire today, and then suddenly you're a millionaire today, well, the money, it's not what it used to be 10 years ago. Inflation ate away at that amount. So it's actually quite less. So 10 years from now, it's not $1 million isn't going to buy the same amount of stuff. 10 years from now, 40,000 isn't going to be as much money as it is today. So right now, you might say, "Hey, 40,000. I'm a single. I don't have family. I don't have anybody to support. I own my house outright. $1 million and $40,000 sounds great to me." But the problem is you're going to need 10 years from now. You're going to need more than that. If 10 years ago you decided you could live off of $40,000, would it surprise you that today you would have to make $47,683 in order to make that amount? So you would need more than $1 million in order to retire today. So if back when you said, hey, I need $1 million 10 years ago, and you said, hey, I can live off of $40,000, and that dividend payment of $40,000, that's enough, then you look forward, you're like, suddenly you've reached your $1 million as of today. Well, guess what? You're not, that $40,000 isn't going to pay for the same amount of stuff. Plus, on top of that, the inflation of your taxes are going to go up on your house. So the amount of money, 10 years ago, your taxes on your house could have been $500, and then today they're pushing $650. So you've actually gone up $150. So everything's going to go up. So if you're saying, hey, I need $1 million to retire, and you're comfortable, you say $40,000. You say, Curtis, $40,000 is plenty of money. I just don't want to work anymore. I just want to be completely free with my time and do whatever I want to do whenever I want to do it. And I understand that. I understand that a lot. Financial freedom is a worthy goal. Not being Lambo rich, not having the private planes, not having the yachts and all the good stuff. All right? You just want to be financially independent. You want to be rich. You're still going to be rich, well, reasonably. You want to be well off at $1 million, and I'm going to do it in 10 years. I've got a plan, and then I'm going to quit my job. I hate my job, and this is what I'm going to do. Well, you say, hey, I can live off of $40,000. Well, 10 years from now, you're not going to need $40,000. You're actually going to need $47,683 to buy, and it could be higher. It could be much higher. 40 years from, you could be looking at $50,000. So, and I would just, and guys, whenever you're doing math on something like numbers for buying stuff, you should always go ahead, because then that way you know you're not off. So really, if you're looking at 10 years from now, you're retiring, you're gonna have $1 million, and you're gonna quit your job, you're gonna tell your boss to shove it, right? You're like, I've got a plan. I want to get out of this place. I'm sick of working for this guy, and I want a solid plan. If I put X amount of dollars away, I do 8% interest, and I've got the whole stock market figured out, and I've got all worked out. I'm doing the slow road and the fast road at the same time. And 10 years from now, I'm going to be a millionaire, and I'm going to make 4% return on my money off of dividends and the stock market. A 10-year mark hits. You're not gonna need 40,000. You're gonna need 50,000. This is something that a lot of people don't understand, right? If you decided 10 years from now you're gonna want to be a millionaire, 10 years from now to have the same purchasing power and the same purchasing power today that $1 million will buy you, everything that $1 million will buy you today, the purchasing power, the actual real value of that money, and you're like, 10 years from now I'm going to be a millionaire, and I want to have the purchasing power and the power of getting the $50,000 what I'm going to need. Guess how much money you're going to need? You're going to need $1.2 million. See, that target's moving, you're moving towards it, and it's moving away from you. So you've got to actually make up speed. So this is the slow road. This is the slow road to becoming a millionaire. Is you set targets, you figure out the math, and you do it. And these things work. Lots and lots. This is most of the millionaires in the United States. This is how they became a millionaire. They worked a normal job. They invested their money in their 401k. They invested their money in their Roth IRA. They invested their money in their bank, and they saved, and they scrimped, and eventually they got there. But guess what? When they became a millionaire, then they looked back, and suddenly that $1 million isn't worth what it used to be. Suddenly that $1 million, the amount of return on that $1 million, that $40,000, which used to buy $50,000 worth of goods, now buys less goods. Right now, well, obviously today you're saying, hey, it's $40,000. Well, I can buy all these goods with $40,000. Well, problem is 10 years from now, you're only going to be able to buy like $32,000 worth of goods, right? Are you prepared for that? Don't you feel like you'd be poor? You're like, hey, I'm going to be a millionaire, and in 10 years from now, you save up your money, you work your butt off, and then you're like, I'm only basically making $32,000 a year now off this $1 million. I was like, hey, I've saved all this money, I've done all this due diligence, and I've saved up this money, I've done what I'm supposed to do, I've followed all the correct things, I saved my 2% in the bank account, I got my 8% return, because some people, you might get it, you could possibly get 8% return on investments in the stock market and your 401k if you do it done correctly. Right? So you got your 8% return on the stock market. You did tax deferred. You put it in the right places. You got your 401k. You did all the things correctly. The way everybody says you should do it, right? Except for the infomercials. Obviously, if you do the infomercials, you're supposed to do, give them $500 and then tomorrow you'll make $20,000, right? Not that way. That's definitely not the way to do it. But this is the other way, that normal way that everyone gets to become a millionaire is they have a normal job that pays good money, they save their money diligently, and eventually they become a millionaire. The problem is once they become a millionaire, they're not really a millionaire. When the date they've decided to become a millionaire, if you decide today you want to become a millionaire, 10 years from now, you're not really a millionaire when you hit $1 million. All right, you're gonna have to be 1.2 to actually hit that mark. $1,200,000. So that's what I'm trying to get across to you. And then on top of that, like I said, if you hit that $1 million and you use that $1 million to produce income, and you're only making 4%, because remember, that's that dividend payment, you're only going to be making $40,000. That $40,000 off $1 million is only going to buy like $32,000 worth of goods. How poor are you going to feel when you saved all your money, worked yourself to death to get to this point, saved all your money, all of a sudden your money's worth only $32,000 instead of $40,000, and $40,000 is a lot of money, right? So guys, there has to be a better way, and guess what? I'm going to teach better ways on other videos. This video is just a demonstration of how you can become a millionaire, yes. But once you become a millionaire, is it really going to give you the amount of money that you want? Is it going to really give you that lifestyle that you want? What kind of lifestyle do you want? You have to work your way backwards. You have to say, what kind of lifestyle do I want? Do I want to drive a Lamborghini? Maybe you don't want to drive a Lamborghini. Maybe you say, hey, I just need a Corvette, right? So obviously a Corvette, the brand new 2020 Corvette looks pretty good, right? So you're like, hey, I don't need a Lamborghini. Lamborghini's $450,000. A Corvette's like $60,000 for a good one. Why am I going to waste my money? I'm not an idiot, right? I don't need a Lamborghini. I just need a Corvette, $60,000, right? I need a $60,000 car. I need a $250,000 house, and I need a solid income of $50,000. Work your way backwards. And you're going to say, hey, this is my goal, and I'm going to get here retired, not working. That's your other part of the goal. I don't want to be working for this money. I want this money to just automatically appear in my bank account where I have this lifestyle and I don't have anything to worry about. Well, guess what? Next video I do, that's what we're going to talk about. How do you retire with the things that you want in order to have the lifestyle that you want? This video is all about how do you become a millionaire, and when you get there, do you really get what you think you get? You worked your butt off, and then you're actually making $32,000 10 years from now. Think about that, guys. Does that really seem right to you? Does that seem right? I consider that poor. That's why I tell you, poor millionaire, because you're a millionaire, but you're still poor, right? It's not Lambo money. It's not even Corvette money. I mean, that's like Ford. That's like a crappy used Mustang kind of money. You know what I mean? That's not even a brand new Mustang kind of money. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate you tuning in, and press the like button, press the subscribe button. I always forget, and my videos go so long. I'm trying to keep these a little shorter. Guys, I really appreciate you tuning in. I will see you tomorrow.